Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man. As always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel and doing a follow-up of a video I just posted called Action. How do you like your guitar setup? High or low? And there was a comment that I received on there, and I think I want to expand it so everybody can, listen to it. And I appreciate everybody's comments as far as what they prefer. So this one is from Mr. I think it's Pirate Brain. Because again, the question was, how do you prefer your action in guitar, high or low? And this is Mr. Pirate Brain's response. High action is great for slide guitar. I totally agree with you. But playing lead runs and rhythm, low action is better. I agree also. But I wouldn't necessarily send back a guitar if the action was high. I would work on the action myself if the action is high, but the guitar is decent. I tend to agree, but here is the issue with that. When it's just slightly above your preference, yeah, I mean, I'll keep it and tweak it down. But when it's just totally out of whack and it's too high, I look at it this way. I've already spent my money for a guitar that I need to play or want to play. I'm not going in behind anybody and try to Frankenstein a doctor on it. If it's too far gone, it's going back, plain and simple. But I understand your comment. Your comment is it might just be a little bit to your dissatisfaction. Now I'm talking about when it's totally out of whack and you ain't trying to touch it. Because even if you lower the saddle, because when the action is that high, it's not just about the saddle needs to be raised or the bridge. It's the whole neck and the truss rod and the saddle is out of whack. All of those things are totally off. Because again, when it's that high, you can lower it as low as you can, and it's still the action is not going to be as low as you want it, and then it's going to be buzzing like crazy. I mean, really, just about every single fret is going to be So in that instance, you just send it back. But I do understand what you're saying. If it's just slightly off, you go in and set it to your specifications, you're good to go. But when it's not to your specification and it's a whole issue of the setup is jacked, it goes back. Okay, and here's his last comment. But man, rule number one, I would never buy a guitar online. I have to go to the spot to buy it. I've gone to Guitar Center. Now, I would agree with that, but here's the thing. In about 15 years, I'll probably be not around by that time, but about 15 to 20 years, there won't be a Guitar Center physically stored. There'll be a Guitar Center online. Everything they're trying to do is move everything online, and it makes sense because when just like a Blockbusters, all of it's online, and the reason being is it's much cheaper. Instead of hiring 30 people throughout the week to stand around and do nothing until someone perhaps shows up and you try to sell them a guitar. They're on the clock and you got to pay these people. So everything is kind of shifting towards online. And I agree, if I can physically go check it out before I buy it, absolutely. But, it's this internet online new era, and unfortunately, most of the guitars that you want or need in your personal setup at this given time in your life might not be in a 10-mile radius. It might be 100, 200 miles in a different city, sometimes in a different country. I agree. If I had the option of going to check it out first, absolutely. But nowadays, the things that I like, they're not in the Guitar Center in the other city from where I'm at. They're somewhere in another state, so you have to do that. But that's the great thing, make sure before you do that they are offering a return if you don't like it, So, the place that I bought mine from off of Guitar Center, off of eBay, they offer 14-day return. So I look at that first. If there is no return, I take a gamble depending on how good the guitar looks or the deal in a specific model, because there might be that specific model that I'm looking for. So I just thought I would expand on my response to Mr. Pirate Brain. Pretty good points, and I agree on some, and some, is kind of up in the air. Because again, if your guitar is totally out of whack, don't try to doctor on it. Just send it back. Go find another one that you ain't had to go out there and pull out your little Allen wrench thing and start screwing the strings down and trying to get it right. Because when you start messing with the saddle, unless you really know what you're doing, your strings are not going to be even. One might be higher because you didn't raise it up a little higher than the other one. Then one might be lower Because sometimes when I'm forced to kind of mess with it a little bit, I can raise up the guitar in my face and I can look at the strings and I can see they're not straight across. Just like, so it's like I'm not a guitar man. I'm just a guitar player, and I want to remain and stay a guitar player. I don't want to be some guy putting my guitar on the table and turning stuff and moving stuff. I'm like, that's not my forte. That's not my expertise. When I'm forced to kind of make some adjustments, I'll do it, but I know my limitations, because there's some people that don't know their limitations, and I'm going to say this and sign off. I had a guy come back do some electrical work on my property, and well, actually I was renting when I was out in the Midwest, because I lived somewhere else. So when I was there for extended period of time, I was renting. So I contacted the landlord. I said, the bulbs I keep blowing out over my kitchen sink. I changed that bulb like once every week. So he brought a guy in, and the guy said something that made a lot of sense to the layman, because I'm not an electrician. He said, here's the issue. You got 1969 electrical work in 2014. I got it. I totally know what you mean. So they had to do some rewiring. And he did something, or as he was doing something, I'm saying to myself, I'm not an electrician, but shouldn't you turn the power off before you start messing with the wires? And he stuck this metal thing in the outlet, and it blew out the outlet, and it blew out my router for my internet. And I'm like, sometimes if you don't know what you're doing, you need to back off of it. But this guy was an electrician, but I think, rule 101, don't stick nothing in the wall until you turn the juice off, but I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking, but that was the point I was making, was when you don't know what you're doing, you need to recognize that and back off, because you can do some serious damage. And I want to kind of leave you with another story that's very similar, and I guess I will do that. I got a buddy. I loaned him my keyboard, and I was stupid enough to loan him my keyboard a second time. I should have learned the first time. So he borrowed it. So the only thing he had to do was just turn on the power switch, and then across the panel, you selected the keyboard patches. Piano, electric piano, bass. That's all you got to do. Then turn it off when you're done. I get my keyboard back. All my data is gone. I'm like, what the hell happened? He went in the back where I think there's like a switch or something where if you want to upload new sounds or download those sounds onto a storage device, you can do that. Why he felt the need to go back there and start tinkering with that, I don't know to this day. And I get it back, all my stuff gone. But thank God I had a backup data storage thing, and I uploaded it again. Then several years later, I kind of forgot about that incident. Gave my keyboard again, a different one. I get my board back, it's the same thing. All my shit gone. I'm like, okay, no more for you, dude. Because you trying to play tinkering, dude, and the only thing you got to do is play the keyboard. I don't know why you're back there messing with other stuff. But on that note, I'm going to sign off, and I appreciate you guys' support and your input. Take care.